Hello, welcome, Diablo here, and this is part 2 of my prediction for the Premier League. If you saw part 1, you know 20 all the way up to 10, which means we have 9 to 1 to go. And we're going to start off first with Newcastle in 9th position. Now, I'm not going to lie, this one baffled me for ages. I don't even know why I put them 9th. I think I'm being deluded. I think I could bump up a few teams, move a few teams around between 10 and 12, swap a few teams around and have a realistic 9th finish. I don't know why I put them 9th when you think all they've brought in is Pope. You've got Botman, but I think Pope is so good. As a goalkeeper, he will win them games. I truly believe that. He is a good goalkeeper. I think we can all admit that. As much as I'm delusional, we can all admit that. Botman's going to add that little bit extra. They've always lacked in centre-backs. They really have. I'm still questioning myself now. My brain is literally going at 400 miles an hour, questioning myself, reworking certain areas and just thinking, have I made the right choice? It's a bit late now. I put them at 9th. That's pretty much it. 9th. So in 8th, I went Aston Villa. Steven Gerrard. Yep, I went Villa. I like some of his business that he's done. I think a certain young Frenchman he's bought in on a free transfer was an absolutely brilliant piece of business. We don't have to mention his name. He's my go-to in Football Manager, I'm not going to lie. He's actually a really good player. I like him in real life. When he came up for a free transfer, I thought there'd be so many more teams that would go for him, but Villa reacted and got their man. Fair play to them. They need to improve on a few things. They finished 14th last season, so I'm actually asking them to go up quite a few places, which, again, it's a little bit like Newcastle. I'm starting to question myself if I'm asking for too much of an improvement from the team, the squad, the manager. But I think with Gerrard, with a whole season under his belt, a whole pre-season, he's getting to bring players in and mould the squad to his way. I think they're going to be quite a force to be reckoned with. They need to tighten up a little bit more defensively, that's for sure. I mean, they conceded 54 last season, which is not a huge amount, but they also need to create more going forward. They only scored 52. They're going to be relying on Watkins again. I mean, last season he scored 11. Most played minutes was, Matty Cash. 3,380. That's a lot of minutes. You got to hope that he stays injury free. He's a good player, actually. He's a really good player. But I don't know. There's something about the Gerrard factor. I think they can. I don't think I'm being that ridiculous or deluded. I think that's quite an acceptable position for them and something they generally should be aiming for. Now we're going to go into the top 7. And before I even go into the top 7, I've changed my mind over 7th, 6th, and 5th, and 4th, and 3rd so many times. And I'm still not convinced I've got it right. I gave myself a cut-off point and I made that decision. It's probably going to come back and haunt me. A lot of my mates down the pub are quite content thinking they're going to get a lot of beer out of me this year, which, I fully accept. They probably will because I really think I've got it wrong. But I just went with what I felt. And when I say I got it wrong and what I'm going with what I felt, what I mean is it's fine margins. It's fine margins. You can make arguments for every aspect of this top 7. Apart from the top 2, the rest of them I think you can make really strong arguments for. And I've made my argument and this is my positioning. So in 7th, which I think I've got completely wrong because I think they're more than capable of breaking that top 6. But trying to choose who was going to fall out of that top 6 was really difficult. 7th is West Ham. I hope I live to regret this. I think they're going to finish 7th. I just think the fine margins. And not being funny, last season they finished 7th. So I'm doing them no disjustice. 5th round in the FA Cup, quarterfinals of the League Cup, semi-finals of the Europa League. Let's be honest, as a West Ham, I think you'd accept 7th, another good run in the FA Cup, another good run in the League Cup, perhaps try and get the semis, and again the Europa, try and go that step further, get to the final, or not being funny, get to the semis again. When I felt they were very unlucky against Eintracht Frankfurt, I wanted them to win. Didn't happen. That's football. Unfortunately, that really is just football. 6th position. The interesting one. It's interesting because this pretty much formulates the rest of my predictions. People can pretty much go, you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pretty much. So in 6, we're going with Arsenal. Yep, sorry Gooner fans. I think you've got a choke in you. A proper good choking. You've made fantastic signings. Jesus is going to be an absolute hit, but I still think you're a couple of players shy of really pushing and getting into that top 4. I may be completely wrong, which is it was a conversation I had with one of my friends. We had a good hour conversation weighing up so many different things about the Arsenal side. And I kept going back to the Jesus factor, that the additional goals that he will provide because he can finish and Arsenal do create chances, will be a major factor. But I still think they've got that choke inside them, that they will play those games where they're just dog shit. There's no other word I can put for it. Dog shit. And that's going to cost them. And I don't think they're going to win the big games. When it comes to the big games against your Cities, your Liverpools, Chelseas, I think they're going to lose those games. Yeah, again, see, my brain is just going in overtime. Again, so many conversations I've had with people, like my friends, about football and stuff and what we've been talking about. I mean, looking at some of my friends' predictions, yeah, it's going to be an interesting season. I just think, some of mine are a little bit out there. Like the Everton one, people are going to give me grief about that. But, that's just the way I feel. I don't see Leeds going down. I don't see Southampton going down. I don't see Brentford going down. I don't see Leicester going down. I think Forest have got just enough. The only thing that could work against Forest is the fact that they're not going to have that camaraderie, that team spirit, that togetherness, that gel. I mean, if they gel straight away, then wow, holy crap. Can Lampard really turn Everton around? I just don't think he has the ability to, and that's just being 100% honest. So, obviously 5th. I don't think you need to be able to split an atom to figure out I put Manchester United in 5th. They ain't got enough to break the top 4. That's without a shadow of a doubt. Too much needs to happen between this video and the end of the transfer window. Too much needs to happen, and it ain't going to happen. The whole complete and utter debacle surrounding Ronaldo at the moment is just distracting. The owners are complete and utter muppets. I feel for ETH because he hasn't got what he's wanted. We know he wants De Jong. He's not going to get him. I'm happy with what he's signed. Martinez, I think he's going to be a fantastic acquisition. Malacia, fantastic acquisition. Christian Eriksen, a good acquisition. Not going to lie, he can create chances, and I like to see how he's going to rotate or play that partnership with Bruno, or how he's going to work that. Don't think Christian can do every game of the season. They still lack a proper CDM. Like an out-and-out CDM. I think they're going to have a little bit more than Arsenal. I mean, I know they finished 6th last season. Pretty poor in the Cups. 4th round of the FA, 3rd round of the League Cups, last 16 of Champions League. I mean, they were just diabolical last season. Absolutely diabolical. So, to be honest with them, if they do finish 5th, they should take that as winning the league. So, we're going to move on to 4th. And again, this is one that's caused me a lot of problems in the old noodle. Because when I compare the team I put into 3rd, I'm talking slight margins. So 4th anyway. 4th is Chelsea. Only reason I put Chelsea there, and a lot of Chelsea fans will argue this, they haven't had a proper out-and-out centre-forward since Diego Costa. I mean, you went and spent 100 mil on Romelu, cry a lot. You spent some money on Timo, put an arm round his bloody shoulder and give the lad some confidence, who misfires more than anything I know, which is a shame. I think it goes to show that you can miss a lot of chances in Bundesliga and land yourself a decent transfer. Again, with Timo, I think if you put your hand round if you put your arm round his shoulder, give him a hug, a little bit of tenderness, I think you get so much more out of him. I think he's one of those confidence player who needs that arm round him. I don't think he's getting it. Romelu, why spend £100 million if you're not going to change the way that suits the best way Romelu plays? It makes no sense to me. You can't build a team around Lukaku if you want him to change his entire game. It's not going to happen. It's ingrained in him to play one way. It's easier to change your team fractionally to play his way. But, I'm talking semantics here. It's not the point. I look at the acquisitions. I think they're fantastic. I can't lie. I think Raheem Sterling, I think City selling Raheem Sterling is just mind-blowing. I don't understand why. I think he's so underrated in the league. It's ridiculous. When you look at his goal return and his assist, he's a top player. He's 27. He's got a lot to prove, and I think he's going to go this season and really have a good season. Kabali, fantastic acquisition. Fantastic acquisition. I'll be seriously interested to see how he makes it in the Premier League. I've always had my doubts about him. I've always thought him as a really good centre-back, and one where you think, I'd love my club to go and buy him. But as soon as you say it, you have that doubt. Is he good enough? Is he capable? So Chelsea have thankfully taken that punt, and I'll be interested to see. They bought Cucurella, or as I say, Corella Deville, 101 Dalmatians. Yeah, they bought him. I look at his statistics. Age on his side, he looks a good player. Nothing outstandingly spectacular. I mean, a lot of people have been comparing him to Ben Chilwell, and I think that's a bit harsh considering he was out for, just over half a season. I think Chilwell's a solid player. But that's going to be an interesting one. I think the lack of an out-and-out goal scorer, centre-forward, is going to cost Chelsea. In the big games, in the crucial moments, in the games where, how can I put it? Stoke City on a Tuesday night, when it's pissing down. Those sort of games, which I don't really think we have this year. You know, Burnley's gone now. Can you imagine facing Burnley away on a cold Tuesday night when it's pissing down in high wind? Fuck that. That's a game you don't want to fucking play. But I don't think we have many teams, Leeds away on a Tuesday night when it's raining. Fuck that. No, their fans are so hostile. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I think Chelsea are just going to... It's fine margins. I'm talking fine margins. But Chelsea fourth, which, let's be honest, now pretty much you're guaranteed to work out my top three. So, in third, it's quite obvious, Spurs. Why have I gone for Spurs in third? That actually nearly rhymed. That's so no. Stop. Spurs in third. Stop. Tottenham in third. Conte. I look at his acquisitions. Perisic. I do. Oh, this is catch-22. I slightly laugh about Richarlison. I don't understand why Tottenham spent so much money on a little bit of a crybaby. Things don't go his way. He does like to throw that dummy out of that pram. But it's a big year. I look at Coolidge and I think he's a quality player. I loved him when he was at Juventus. I was really shocked Juventus let him go. Not going to lie. I know they've got Chiesa, but I think you can play Chiesa in a number of positions, through the middle, the left and the right. I also think you can play Kuleveski through the middle, left and right. Not when I say through the middle, I don't mean as a striker, though Chiesa has that ability. I'm thinking more as like you're playing a 4-2-3-1, you can play him just behind the striker, both of them. They can play on the left and the right, so I'm surprised. But anyway, he's at Tottenham, so I think they've done really well. Basuma coming from Brighton, I think that was a great piece of business. A great piece of business for both clubs. More Brighton because a player in the last year of the contract getting that decent money, and for Tottenham, theoretically, if he had 2, 3, 4 years in his contract, they would be paying a lot more than what they just paid for him. So for both clubs, that's a great piece of business. Really is. And I just think because you're going to have 5 substitutes this year, squad rotation and squad depth of quality, I think it's going to work in Tottenham's favour. But, being honest, game week 2 could literally piss over everything I've just done in this video. Or not just in this video, but in the last 3 or 4 minutes talking about Tottenham and Chelsea. Because Tottenham's record against Chelsea is absolutely awful. I don't think they've won in the last 6. I know for a fact their last 5, they've drew 1 and lost 4. They've literally got to beat Chelsea. They can't even afford a draw. I don't even think a draw is acceptable. Acceptable by any stretch of the imagination. Conte has to beat Chelsea. He has to beat Tuchel. Tottenham have to win. It doesn't matter if it's a 1-0 89th minute, Lloris freak goal, or the referee nods it in, or Son hits it off his fucking arse. It does not matter how the ball gets in the Chelsea net. Tottenham need to beat Chelsea. Game week 2, Tottenham need to beat Chelsea. For me personally, because if Chelsea beat Tottenham, Chelsea will finish third, Tottenham will finish fourth. That's the way I've got it mapped out in my head. I mean, it's a long season, I know, it's only game week 2, but psychologically, Tottenham will just, do you know what I mean? They ain't got... Conte's a manager who can take them that step further, where Pochettino couldn't. But they've got players who've got the mentality of being serial chokers. I mean, they'd make great ladies of the night on the corner, because they can seriously choke. So, top 2. Second, Liverpool. I'm still questioning myself over this one. I think Liverpool have got the bit between their teeth. Do I see them win the league title? No, but we talk about City in a minute. Darwin Núñez. Okay, so he's had a bit of an inconsistent start. People have had a bit of a pop at him. He needs time to just blend in, to find his feet. I think he'll score a lot of goals. I think he'll suit Liverpool. He's got great work rate, great work ethic, and he's a good player. He's a talented player. Mane is a huge miss. Can Diaz fulfill that gap? I think he can. I think Diaz is a cracking player. I was gutted Liverpool went out and bought him. Gutted. But that was a great piece of business. A fair play to them. Jota being out injured makes me smile. I hope it's not too long term though, because he is a great football player. I'd like to see Firmino used better, but at the same time, I'd like to see Firmino sold to Juventus, because I have a soft spot for Juventus and I have a soft spot for Roberto Firmino, if I'm honest. So I'd love to see him leave. But I don't see much change in Liverpool. I think next season they're going to need to make big changes, and with the rumours of Bellingham, I can see him coming in replacing Henderson. The future's bright for Liverpool, whichever way you look at it. You've got Klopp, who literally loves everybody. He knows how to manhandle every single one of those players. They were so unfortunate not to win the league last season. I still, to this day, can't quite figure out. You know, City were 10 points ahead. Liverpool clawed it back. It went down to the final game of the season. It was such a great footballing season. Do I expect it to be that close? I don't even want to call that, but I think it will be definitely under 6 points this season. I'd love to see it go down to a nail-biting final day of the season finish again. Damn, that would be amazing. So anyway, first place, Manchester City. Yeah, I don't really know what to say about City, to be honest. A lot of this will depend on Haaland remaining fit. Now, we can argue they won the Premier League without a recognised striker. So I'm sort of contradicting myself because they are more than capable of doing it without a recognised striker. Actually having someone who's a recognised centre forward with that ability scares the living shit out of me. If he can stay fit, get a grip of the Premier League early doors, and they ain't got an easy start. They've got West Ham. They ain't got an easy start. Do you know what? There's something inside me that really thinks. I know. I look. We can look at the stats, statistics. I just think there's something there. I just got a sneaking suspicion West Ham will get something out of that first game. Don't know, I might be talking out my complete and utter arse and City smash them 5-0. I don't think it's going to be that case. I think it's going to be a great game. But yeah, that is my Premier League prediction, as you can see on screen, from 1 to 20. Let me know what you think. How far deluded am I? And as normal, until next time.